A week in the making is finally over as we have day 2 of the MVI first pitch softball tournament here on the second day of April, and a lot more of a pleasant afternoon than we saw a day ago. As sun is out, sun is shining, and we should be in store for a good 2 days of softball. Getting us kicked off here in game number 4 of the showcase is going to be the Rams from Ringgold and the Cougars from Charleroi, as we get set again for game number 1 of this 2-day afternoon on MVI Live. Alex Lyons with you for all the action here this afternoon from Frazier Softball Field. The host Commodores will play in game number 2 against the newly entered Brownsville Falcons here on MVI Live. But first, again, we do have Ringgold and Charleroi. Charleroi has not played since they got walked off by York a week ago, and for Ringgold, they have lost their last 2 after an opening day win at the hands of the California Trojans. So Ringgold looks to get back on track. Charleroi looks to pick up some much-needed momentum going into a huge section game, which will take place on MVI Live on Monday when they battle the Frazier Commodores, as that is a huge section game to start section play. We saw a very similar Valley matchup earlier with EF and York. That was on Thursday, which York was one batter away from 10 running the Elizabeth Forward Warriors, and that came down to the final batter, a 9-8 win for York. Olivia Grimm almost hit a 3-run homer, which would have given EF their first lead of the game. Just not enough carry on that one up on Cougar Mountain. So a game of very substantial portions coming for Charleroi after this one, but trying to get some momentum against a Ringgold team who's looking to match their win total from last year here in game number 1. Or game number 4 of the season. Only 2 wins last year for the Ringgold Rams. And they're going to look to change that and match that total here today. And they'll put up a lineup that looks something like this. As for the visiting Rams, for all intensive purposes, they will put out this lineup. Leading off and playing catcher will be the sophomore Carly Russell. Batting second, the center fielder Amy Peterson. Danny Vecchio will pitch. She bats third. Olivia Vecchio, her sister, playing first base, will bat in the cleanup spot. Emma Nolf bats fifth. She is the sophomore third baseman. Batting in the sixth spot, Peyton LaFlash, the senior shortstop. Batting seventh, Cassie Kunkel. She's out in right field. Batting eighth will be the second baseman, Haley Robertson. And batting ninth will be Candace Harding, the left fielder. So that's Russell, Peterson, Vecchio, Nolf, LaFlash, Kunkel, Robertson, and Harding for the Ringgold Rams. Again, Ringgold coming into play 1-2 on the season. And they will face the sophomore Sophia Salaski for the Charleroi Cougars. Salaski pitched very well against York, matching senior ace Emma Augustine pitch for pitch in that one, but it was Adoria Waldeer, the freshman, a 2-run walk-off homer to give Charleroi a loss in their first game of the season. Now here in game number 2, looking to change the script, will be the Cougars from Charleroi. They will be the home team for all intensive purposes here this afternoon on MVI Live against Ringgold. As again, leading off will be Carly Russell, Amy Peterson, and Danny Vecchio. 1-2 is Ringgold. The win versus California, then losses to West Mifflin 10-5, and yesterday 12-2 versus Peters Township. As an absolutely gorgeous afternoon here on April 2nd, as we get set for a 12:58 first pitch on MVI Live. As Salaski puts the face mask on as we get set to get underway, as Sophia Salaski rocks and fires. First pitch up high, but in the zone for strike 1. The 0-1 by Salaski. Outside, count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of inning number 1 between the Rams and the Cougars from Charleroi. Pitch home by Salaski. That one misses. 2 balls and 1 strike to the sophomore catcher, Carly Russell. Solaski gets the sign, the 2-1. Fouled off the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, nobody out. Top of the first inning between the Rams and the Cougars. The 2-2. That one low, ball 3. Count fills up, 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and nobody out. In day 2 of the MVI Live first pitch tournament. Beautiful day again from the Frazier ball fields. Payoff pitch by Solaski up high, and a leadoff free pass issued to Carly Russell. Good AB by the sophomore catcher brings up the senior center fielder, Amy Peterson. 1 on, nobody out. As Solaski rocks and fires up high, ball 1. Lancey thought about firing back to first. That will have to wait, as retreating safely was Carly Russell. Solaski gets the sign, the 1-0 offering. In the air, up over us, out of play. For strike 1 to even things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ringgold in the same section as Jacques, West Mifflin, Bell Vernon, Uniontown, EF, Ringgold, and Laurel Highlands. As a hefty cut and a miss for a strike number 2 on Amy Peterson. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, nobody out. Top of inning number 1. Solaski looking for out number 1, the sophomore replacing Quigley in the circle this year after graduation. The 1-2 fouled off the backstop. Peterson down to the count, trying to keep this going. 1 on, nobody out. Sophia Solaski toes the rubber, gets the sign. The pitch home by Solaski. That one low, skitters away, taking off, and in without a throw at second is Carly Russell on the pass ball. So a runner at second now with nobody out here in the top of the first. Sophia Solaski looking for a big out number 1 against Peterson. Comes home, fouled up out of play, and staying alive will be Amy Peterson. Game number 2 this afternoon will take place 3 o'clock. Frazier and Brownsville will wrap it out. 2 days, 5 games. As that one, a swing and a miss and a strikeout by Sophia Solaski, ending the AB of Amy Peterson for out number 1. Now we'll bring up the counterpart on the Urkel, that is Danny Vecchio. Resetti out and left for Charleroi, ranging over towards left center. A defense looks like this. Eddie in left, Seipold in center with Pierock out in right. Henderson and DeYounger make up the third and shortstop positions. On the right side, it's Pendo and Jones. Solaski in the circle, and as I mentioned, Lancey back behind the dish for Charleroi. Swing and a miss by Vecchio, as she'll fall behind in the count. 2 strikes on Danny Vecchio, the sophomore pitcher, against the sophomore left-hander Sophia Solaski. 1 on, 1 away, top of the first. 2-strike delivery. This one sent up over the backstop and out of play as the count stays the same. 0-2 on Danny Vecchio, trying to stay alive here and move the runner, Carly Russell, over at least 60 feet. Pitch home by Solaski. That one misses outer third. Make it 2-1 to Danny Vecchio. Vecchio was their starting first baseman a season ago. So, when she's in the circle like she is today, they find that is a big loss, but it is Olivia Vecchio, her sister, manning that position as the count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch home by Solaski, grounded left side. That one sneaks under the glove of Pendo, and coming around from second to score is Russell, as Vecchio takes it the other way, and it's 1-0 Ringgold in the top of the first. An RBI single out to right My Danny Vecchio helps her own cause early on, and we'll get the courtesy runner in the form of Siobhan Noble. So Noble at first, 1 out, 1 in, 1-0 Ringgold. As it's Olivia Vecchio, the first baseman, stepping in, the senior. As we're waiting, as John Kurritz, our home plate umpire, getting the courtesy runner in. And again, that is Noble over at first base. Noble was a transfer in from Connellsville. One of a few transfers on this Ringgold team. The other, of course, being Haley Robertson. A little further of a trip from Connellsville for Robertson, all the way from Utah. As Salaski awaits the change to be made along with Olivia Vecchio. At first, that's Noble. Running for Danny Vecchio, the RBI 1-out single against the left-hander, Sophia Salaski. 1 on, 1 out, top of the first. Ringgold on top of Charleroi. Sophia Salaski toes the rubber. Gets a feel, winds, and fires. That one on the outer third for a strike to Olivia Vecchio. So once again, working ahead in the count is the sophomore Salaski. Salaski rocks and fires. Outer third for another strike on the right-handed hitting first baseman, Olivia Vecchio. Salaski looking for a big out number 2. 1 on, 1 out, 1 in. 2-strike delivery sent up out of play here on the near side. Another 2-strike offering by Salaski. That one misses. Noble at first, 1 out, 1 in. The RBI single by Danny Vecchio the other way out to right. Brought home the catcher, Carly Russell. Another 2-strike offering by Salaski. That one inner third, strike 3, looking the second of the inning for Sophia Salaski. So 1 on now with 2 away here in the top of inning number 1. Again, Charleroi trailing early on 1-0. Salaski comes home up high. There's a ball to the right-handed hitting third baseman, sophomore Emma Nolf. And Ringgold looking for a rebound season, just 2-14 last year, 1-11 inside the section. As Salaski battles back to even things up, 1 ball and 1 strike to Emma Nolf. Noble at first, the courtesy runner for the pitcher, Danny Vecchio. An RBI single in the early going. 1-0 Ringgold leads. Pitch home, swing and a miss. Make it 1-2 on the sophomore third baseman of the Ringgold Rams. Pitch home by Salaski, swing and a miss, so she'll strike out 3 in the inning, but not before 1 run comes across the score on 1 hit. No errors, 1 left aboard, and after 1/2 inning of play, your score. The Rams won. The Cougars coming to bat right here on MVI Live, and the Rams will have to go against an offense that looks something like this for the Charleroi Cougars, as we'll get it up here on your screen for you. As leading things off will be the freshman second baseman, Avery Pendo. Batting second and playing first base is Riley Jones. In the 3-hole spot, the shortstop, McKenna DeYounger. Batting fourth and pitching will be Sophia Salaski. Batting in the 5-hole and catching will be Maddie Lancey. Following her will be the right fielder, that is Resetti. Following will be the left fielder, Perrock, and batting 8th will be the third baseman, Lena Henderson, and batting 9th, the center fielder, Ella Seipold. So once again, that's Pendo, Jones, DeYounger, Salaski, Lancietti, Perrock, Henderson, and Seipold, the starting 9 for the Charleroi Cougars here this afternoon from Frazier's softball facility. See if Charleroi can answer with some runs here in the home half of inning number 1 after surrendering an early tally to the Ringgold Rams. And Danny Vecchio in the circle once more for Ringgold. Olivia Vecchio over at first. Charleroi believes wide open conference has a playoff aspiration type season. Once again, believe they are right there with the Commodores from Fraser to take that section crown. Everyone kind of, the thought around the section is it's a bit of a down year for the Carmichael Mighty Mikes compared to years past. So see how that plays into order. His first pitch by Vecchio. In there, strike 1 to Avery Pendo, the freshman second baseman. Started her high school career in a big way, sending one over the fence here a week ago against Emma Augustine. That one up out of play to Pendo, as she fouls it up over the backstop. Pitch home by Vecchio, pops straight up, and Russell finds it and puts the squeeze on it. 1 up, 1 down on the P2 to get us started here in the home half of inning number 1. And the defense looks something like this with Russell behind the dish, Vecchio pitching at third. That's Nolf, shortstop LaFlash, Robertson at second with Vecchio standing at the first base bag. And in the outfield for Ringgold after this pitch, first pitch strike to Riley Jones. The outfield looks like this. Peterson in center with Kunkel and Harding manning the corners. Pitch to Jones, set in the air, right side, back towards the gap and ranging over the center fielder. Peterson makes the grab for a quick out number 2 of Riley Jones on the F8, and that will bring up the 3-hole hitter, McKenna DeYounger. As the sophomore digs in. Did a lot of catching last year for Charleroi and takes strike 1 from Danny Vecchio. 1-0 the Rams lead, 2 outs, bottom of the first. Good start here for Vecchio's. DeYounger sends this one out towards the hole, and a good stretch but off the glove of Olivia Vecchio on the strong throw by Peyton LaFlash will allow DeYounger to reach on the E3. So 1 on and 2 away now for the pitcher, Sophia Salaski. Salaski was outstanding a season ago at the dish for Charleroi. .415 hitter, the lefty takes high, ball 1. Also drove in 20 runners and went deep 5 times a season ago, as she'll dig back into that left-handed hitting batter's box. Rocking and fire Vecchio, 1 on, 2 away, as that one's fouled up over the backstop for a strike on Sophia Salaski. Salaski definitely has the pop to untie this game with 1 swing, as that one misses for a ball to the left-handed hitting Salaski. Swing and a miss, Salaski. Now in a 2-2 count with 1 on and 2 away. Home half of inning number 1. Trying to keep the home half of the first alive. Sends this one in the air, right side, ranging over Harding, and Harding in foul territory will make the catch for out number 3. So the Rams strand 1, no runs on no hits, 1 error, and 1 left aboard. We've played 1 full inning of play here from day 2 of the MVI first pitch tournament, and we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the top half of inning number 2 for you right here on MVI Live.
Hey, Jim Shorkey here. Just a reminder, if you haven't signed up for the Goal Achiever Challenge yet, please do right now. Don't procrastinate. Jump right on this. Just do it. Get it done. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So make sure you sign up for the Goal Achiever Challenge and check out Jim Shorkey's Pragmatist podcast. To check out that podcast and for more information, visit resultsfromthinking.com.
Back here on MVI Live, top of the second, 1-0 the Ringgold Rams lead the Charleroi Cougars on the first inning. RBI single by the Rams pitcher Danny Vecchio. Very young lineup for the Charleroi Cougars once again, as Charleroi, their first 5 hitters, 4 sophomores, 1 freshman. Then you follow a trio of juniors and then another sophomore in Ella Seipold. So, again, a very young but talented lineup for the Charleroi Cougars. As digging in to lead things off this inning will be the senior shortstop of the Ringgold Rams. That's Peyton LaFlash. Solaski rocks and fires. First pitch of inning number 2 in there. Strike 1 to Peyton LaFlash. Solaski toes the rubber. Rocks and deals the 0-1. Swing and a miss. A hefty cut and a miss by Peyton LaFlash. Absolutely gorgeous day for softball here on April 2nd after snowstorms, windstorms, and everything in between yesterday, as that one misses to LaFlash. And we got the full experience of it on MVI Live. We went to East Allegheny for Sarah Catholic East Day, a big 13-0 win for the Eagles from Sarah Catholic, as this one sent up out of play by LaFlash on the near side. Zach Black once again going deep into the wind, into the hillside at East Allegheny's second home run in as many games for the sophomore out there. We were off the air by that time thanks to the cold weather kicking us off as LaFlash sends this one in the air out towards the right fielder and ranging in. Perrock will make the grab for out number 1. So an F9 retires LaFlash. Kunkel and Robertson, the next 2 due up for the Ringgold Rams. And Ringgold's goal was to finish more games this year. Got 10 runs a number of times last year. As pitch home by Solaski in there, strike 1 to Cassie Kunkel, the sophomore right fielder. 15-4 winners over California, then a 10-5 game versus West Mifflin. Of course, West Mifflin retooling a bit this year. The 0-1 swing and a miss by Kunkel, now 0-2. West Mifflin had, of course, Uhas a season ago was outstanding for that Titans team, as outer third, strike 3 looking. 4th strikeout of the game for Sophia Solaski. And now it's the transfer from Utah, Haley Robertson, as the sophomore digs in. Solaski comes home, outer third, strike 1, as Sophia Solaski feels like she's getting to some sort of a groove here in inning number 2. The 0-1 by the lefty. Swing and a miss. 0-2. As Solaski working ahead in the count once more. The early walk to Russell right now has been what's bit the Cougars in the butt. Now the 0-2, Solaski. Up high, make it 1-2 to the right-handed hitting second baseman Haley Robertson. Nobody on, 2 away, 1-0. And that one's outside for a ball to Robertson. 4 strikeouts to the ledger thus far of the sophomore lefty Sophia Solaski. The 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. There's strikeout number 5 for Solaski through 2 innings of work. As no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We've played 1.5. Your score, Ringgold 1, Charleroi nothing, right here on MVI Live. And if you don't already, we would like to remind you that for the best coverage of not just Mon Valley sports, but Mon Valley news, make sure you subscribe to the Mon Valley Independent, either the print or e-edition, to stay up to date, not just on the world of Mon Valley sports with our great sports department, including sports editor and assistant sports editor Jeremy Salou and Jose Negron, but also, all the coverage our great news reporting team does as well. So make sure you subscribe to the Mon Valley Independent, print and e-editions available for both subscriptions. So make sure you subscribe to the Mon Valley Independent today as we get set for the home half of inning number 2. Charleroi going to look to get it going against the Ringgold right-hander, Danny Vecchio. She was a player of the game on an MVI Live broadcast earlier this season. As Maddie Lancey, Resetti, and Perrock do up, and this one's laced out to center, but right at Peterson, 1 up, 1 down on the L8. So as quickly as Lancey made her way to the dish, Peterson center packing. So now it's going to be Resetti, the lefty. First pitch, swing and a miss by Resetti. Eddie digs back into the left-handed hitting batter's box. Nobody on, 1 away, swing and a miss, make it 0-2. Resetti trying to be the first Cougar to reach via a hit today. Younger reached on the E3 by Olivia Vecchio, as that one right there, strike 3 looking, and Eddie is retired, becoming the first strikeout victim of Danny Vecchio here this afternoon. Now it's going to be the right-handed hitting junior left fielder, Perrock. Pitch home. Little half-hearted swing, grounds out to Robertson to Vecchio, 4-3, and 1-2-3 once again. Go the Charleroi Cougars, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board, and after 2 full, it's still 1-0 Rams as Vecchio makes quick work of the Charleroi Cougars as we head to the top of inning number 3. Again, we appreciate you joining us here on MVI Live for day 2 of the first pitch tournament, a week in the making, as weather played its part last Saturday. Snow, rain, cold. Moved into Monday with every single game being postponed. Tuesday, beautiful weather for baseball. We got it on the air for that one. Good day Wednesday. Thursday, we're able to do some broadcasting before yesterday it decided to freeze, snow, rain again before switching back to another beautiful day here this afternoon in the second day of April. Good turnout here at the Frazier softball facility for game number 1. Again, originally it was going to be a 4-game slate when the tournament wasn't getting moved, and then we were hoping to have 3 today, but due to some busing issues and other concerns, only getting 2, but still getting some softball for you here on MVI Live before we'll have a full array of games next week, weather permitting. As Seipold shifts over along with Eddie. We saw this a lot against Jock. His first pitch up high to Candace Harding. The sophomore left fielder leads things off in the 3rd. Carly Russell will follow along with Amy Peterson. But I'll let you look on this camera here. See how far over. Now, not so much, but Resetti plays towards center field. Swing and a miss. Dropped by Lancey, but still a strike on the left-handed hitting sophomore left fielder Candace Harding. 1-0 the Rams lead. Top of inning number 3, Solaski fires, swing and a miss. There's strike number 2 on Harding. The lefty digs in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody on, nobody out. Solaski has this one fought off foul, just past the Rams bench on the left side of the infield. Count stays 1-2 on the 9-hole hitter, Candace Harding. Solaski looking for strikeout number 6. Staying alive is Harding as she just gets enough of that one to foul it off home plate. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on and nobody out in the top of inning number 3. The 1-2 once again, swing and a miss. There is strikeout number 6 for Sophia Solaski. As she is mowing them down in the early going, and now we'll switch back to Carly Russell. Scored the game's opening run after a leadoff free pass. 2 base runners is all that's been surrendered by Solaski thus far, but one of them in the former Russell has scored as she'll take ball 1. The 1-0 delivery by Solaski, swing and a miss. Count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on, 1-0 the Ringgold Rams on top. Solaski toes the rubber, rocks and fires with the 1-1, a hefty cut and a miss. Once again by the sophomore catcher, make it 1-2 on Carly Russell. The 1-2. Evens it up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 1 away. 1 run on the board for the Ringgold Rams coming back in inning number 1. The 2-2. Fills things up, 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away, nobody on, top of the 3rd, 1-0. The Rams lead it. In this 5A, 2A matchup. Payoff pitch by Solaski. She got her. Strikeout number 7 for Sophia Solaski here in inning number 3. And now it's Amy Peterson, who is one of those 7 victims thus far. 7 of the 9 have struck out for Ringgold thus far, as that one sent up over the backstop for strike number 1 to Amy Peterson. Nobody on, 2 away, top of the 3rd. 0-1, that one skitters past the glove of Lancey all the way to the backstop. Count evens up 1-1. This Charleroi team definitely on the precipice of greatness in the next year or so. Even possibly this year is now 0-2. Again, when you look at every single player, barring players quitting, transferring, whatever it may be, this entire lineup's intact into next season, and just 3 of these players are juniors. As grounder, left side, DeYounger up with it, the sophomore over to the other sophomore, Jones. And that will do it here in the top half of the 3rd, 6-3. The putout, 1-2-3. Go the Rams for the 2nd straight inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. 2.5 done. Still 1-0 in favor of the Ringgold Rams. Charleroi looks to change it here in the home half of inning number 3, and it's going to be 8-9-1. Lena Henderson, Ella Sightport, and Avery Pendo due up for the Charleroi Cougars against the right-hander Danny Vecchio, as the sophomore has been good thus far. But again, this is a team just much like Fraser, young, talented, and skilled, and it's going to be a battle between those 2 teams inside of this section. You look at the section: Fraser, Carmichaels, California, Charleroi, Bentworth, Best Center, Washington. You figure out of those, Fraser, Carmichaels, and Charleroi probably 15-run the other 4 teams, and that's no offense to them. Fraser already 15-run Washington. Best Center and Bentworth should both easily be that way. And maybe you don't 15-run Cal, but you should at least 10-run them. You know, I'm saying this about Fraser, or Carmichaels, and Charleroi. I mean, it's just what they do. As first pitch swinging Henderson, a little blooper, and that's over the glove of Peyton LaFlash in center. As the shortstop couldn't get there, it's a leadoff single by Lena Henderson, and that will start the party here in the third. But you look at these 2 lineups, going back to my point, Fraser starting 3 freshmen, a junior in Hartman behind the dish, a junior in Delaney Warnick. Really, besides Tori Wyszynski, who is going to be a big loss for Fraser next year, they're going to have everybody coming back. Snap throw to first, sliding in safely is Henderson after a strike 1, delivered to Seipold. So this should be a good matchup between these schools for the next 2-3 seasons minimum. As obviously we'll talk a lot more about that Monday as bunt shown and fouled off by Seipold. Now down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, because the reason we'll talk a lot more about that Monday, that will be our MVI Live softball game of the week from Charleroi High School between the Cougars and the Commodores. They were thrillers a season ago, and a strikeout by Vecchio sitting down Seipold. Actually, no, I was correct. That is a strikeout of Seipold swinging. There's number 2 by Danny Vecchio. So 1 on, 1 away for Avery Pendo, the freshman. Avery Pendo is in line for player of the game in Charleroi's first game. She did everything for the Cougars until Adoria Waldeer walked them off with a 2-run homer. 1 out, 1 on. As Pendo fouls it off down the third base line for strike 1. So 1-1 to the freshman second baseman Avery Pendo. Pendo digs in, Vecchio rocks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Avery Pendo. Charleroi has not played in, now what is it, 8 days? Last Friday was the Cougars' last and only game this season. As that one outside of Pendo, Russell lunges at it to keep it in front. As Pendo strikes out swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts by Danny Vecchio. And now it's up to Riley Jones, the sophomore first baseman. Riley Jones flew out to center in her first AB. Last season, Jones was the leading hitter, .516 average, sends it right side. That sneaks past the glove of Robertson. Henderson round second, close play at third, and Henderson slides in safely under the tag of Nolf on the throw. Jones to second. A 2-out single by Riley Jones puts runners at second and third with 2 away for McKenna DeYounger, who is 0 for 1, reaching on the E3 earlier today. So DeYounger, a 2-out knock, can give the Cougars their first lead of the game. Vecchio gets this one popped up, shallow right, ranging in. Kunkel, she'll make the catch, and traffic stranded on the base path as it's a fly out to right to end the inning. No runs, a pair of Cougar hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We've played now 3 full innings here in game number 1 of the afternoon. Your score still Ringgold 1, Charleroi nothing, right here on MVI Live.
Life is full of surprises. Some good, some not so good. It's why your State Farm agent is there with good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates for everyone. Yep, that's right. At State Farm, you get great service and great rates with every policy, so you can be prepared for all life's surprises. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Brian Warnick in Perryopolis today at 412-668-0111.
Top of the fourth inning we go. 1-0. Ringgold still on top of Charleroi. It was a walk and a single. The lone scoring of the game, and the player who has that lone hit for the Ringgold Rams steps to the dish right now. That is Danny Vecchio, helping her own cause back in inning number 1, going the other way for an RBI single against Sophia Salaski, and since then, nothing. Since that RBI single, Salaski has struck out 6, not allowed another base runner. Talk about the sophomore settling in as Salaski, first pitch, ball 1 to Danny Vecchio. As they're going to back out up the outfield, and you can see on your screen how far the left fielder Eddie is playing over, so a lot of room down the line as a hefty cut and a miss by Danny Vecchio evens things up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out. Here in the top of inning number 4 is the pitcher Danny Vecchio. Vecchio, grounder. That one eats up Pendo, and Pendo can't recover in time, as Vecchio just overpowers Avery Pendo to reach on the E4. Noble run again, and the Ringgold Rams head coach, Greg Allen, very pleased. You can hear him saying, at least I can, outstanding 2-9, outstanding. So very happy with the AB by Danny Vecchio. And now Olivia, first pitch swinging, fouls it off down the first base line for strike number 1. So Vecchio ends the streak of 8 in a row retired by Sophia Salaski, the sophomore left-hander. The southpaw toes the rubber, rocks and fires. Misses to Vecchio, evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, nobody out here in the top of inning number 4. It is a 1-0 Rams lead over the Cougars from Charleroi. The 1-1 by Salaski. Sent the other way, Pendo in and out of her glove, and she boots it. Noble will take off for third. Throw goes across the diamond, no slide, but Noble in safely. And now Vecchio will swipe second as the Rams weren't paying attention. Second error this inning by Avery Pendo, the freshman, at second. In and out of her glove, and then booted it up the right field line, allowing the runner to reach, and now they're going to actually make Vecchio go back to first. So Olivia Vecchio at first. Noble, the courtesy runner, at third. Nobody out. First pitch strike to the right-handed hitting Emma Nolf. She struck out swinging back in inning number 1 to end the top half of the first inning. 1-0 Ringgold leads. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. Salaski, swing and a miss. There's strike 2 on Emma Nolf, looking for a huge punch out of the sophomore third baseman is Sophia Salaski. Sophia Salaski's 0-2 delivery. Sent up, out of play, near side. Count stays 0-2 on the right-handed hitting sophomore third baseman of the Ringgold Rams. Frazier and Brownsville will follow the conclusion of this one. With a win today by Ringgold, they can match their total from a season ago, as overthrowing that one with Salaski, and Vecchio will swipe second. One ball, 2 strikes. 2 on, nobody out. The 1-2 sent up, out of play, is staying alive as the right-handed hitting Emma Nolf. And head coach Greg Allen knew he had a young group and was really hoping that leadership of them would start to come into fruition this year. As Nolf stays alive once again as Jones lays out, and that one's just in front of the glove of Riley Jones on the near side. Again, Jones got injured towards the end of basketball season. She was absolutely outstanding, as well as the younger, as that sophomore group, as this one fouled off again and out of play, as Emma Nolf doing everything she can to stay alive. And appreciate all of you joining us here on MVI Live for Saturday afternoon softball, as that one misses a good waste pitch by Sophia Salaski, saying you're not fouling this one off, firing up out of the zone, seeing if she could get Nolf the chase with the rise. The 2-2 by Salaski, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 by Salaski, and that one was monumental at the moment for out number 1. So runners at second and third, one away. And now it's Peyton LaFlash, the senior, one of 2 not to strike out against Salaski thus far. First pitch swinging, infield pop-up, and it's a double play. DeYounger does it herself. The P6 to the bag. As Olivia Vecchio thought there was 2 away, there was only 1. So Salaski works out of the jam. LaFlash a P6, and then 6 unassisted to the bag at second. As the 2 Pendo errors don't come back to bite the Rams. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, 1 left aboard, and after 3.5, Ringgold still clinging to a 1-run lead over the Charleroi Cougars, as a heads-up play by McKenna DeYounger to catch it and tag the bag versus Vecchio, who thought there was only 1, or thought there was 2 outs, and took off for third. So runners at second and third and nobody out, and Sophia Salaski works out of the jam, backing up her freshman second baseman Avery Pendo. No harm, no foul that time by for the Charleroi Cougars as we move to the home half of inning number 4 in a brisk moving contest so far this afternoon. But hey, it's unlike Friday. I don't mind being out here today. I could spend all day just sitting out here watching softball, as it's absolutely a beautiful day. Wind blowing slightly from right field over to left. Again, it's 190 down the lines here. 213 to dead center, 209 to the left center gap, 207 to the right center gap. As leading off, Sophia Salaski, first pitch, ball 1, it fired in there by Danny Vecchio. Salaski, Lancey, and Eddy do up this inning. The 1-0 by Vecchio. Salaski pops it up, straight up and out into the Rams bench for strike number 2 on Salaski. She flew out to the right fielder, Cassie Kunkel, back in inning number 1 to end the first inning. Bottom of the second, nobody on, nobody out, the 1-1. Sent the other way in the air, left side, and that one's going to get up out of play over the fence for Salaski, so she'll stay alive for the moment, as tracking it down was Candace Harding. And going back to that last sequence, we'll wait after this pitch by Danny Vecchio, the 1-2. Straight up, out of play. Salaski will stay alive again. The scoreboard said 2 outs. But the umpire at home, John Kuritz, make sure I get his name right as well, as clearly said 1 out, letting everybody know there was 1 out. So even though the scoreboard was wrong, Kuritz made everybody aware how many outs were left, as that one rattles the backstop off the bat of Sophia Salaski, the lefty again. 5 homers a season ago, looking for number 1 here this year. The 1-2 pitch by Vecchio. That one misses, make it 2-2 to the left-handed hitting sophomore Sophia Salaski. Vecchio spinning it around, rocks in and fires home the 2-2. Pops straight up in the air, right side, ranging back. Robertson called off by Kunkel, and Kunkel makes the catch on the edge of the infield dirt. Third put out of the afternoon for the right fielder Kunkel. Now it's going to be Maddie Lancey The 5-hole hitter lined out the center on the first pitch she saw from Danny Vecchio. And she'll take ball 1 from the right-hander. Reese Eddy on deck for Charleroi, down 1-0, 1 away here in the home half of inning number 4. The 1-0 by Danny Vecchio. That one low as well to Maddie Lancey, working herself into a hitter's count. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody on, 1 away. Pinch hitter on deck in the form of Stefanik. As that one catches the zone. Reese Eddy struck out in her first AB. As Lancey, a little nubber right back to Vecchio. Vecchio to Vecchio as Danny tosses it on to Olivio for the 1-3 putout for out number 2. And now we will see the designated player, or pinch hitter, I should say. And they're actually going to change that and now have Reese Eddy coming back. So no pinch hitter in the form of Stefanik. As I think the sequence went, if we had a runner on, they were going to go Stefanik, but instead that will be Reese Eddy, the lefty. So with 2 outs and nobody on, they will turn to Reese Eddy as she'll bat in her normal spot of the lineup. First pitch home by Vecchio. Big swing and a miss by Reese Eddy for strike number 1. Nobody on, 2 away. 1-0 Ringgold leads home half of inning number 4. The 0-1, bunt shown and jabbed at and missed for strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody aboard here. Bottom of the 4th inning. 2-0 the Ringgold, or 1-0, excuse me. The Ringgold Rams lead the Charleroi Cougars 0-2. Swing and a miss. Another punch out for Danny Vecchio. That makes 4. Second time Chiefs fan Reese Eddy in this one. As no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board through 4 full innings of work here this afternoon. Your score remains this: the Ringgold Rams 1, the Charleroi Cougars 0 here on MVI Live. And calling all high school basketball players in the Western Pennsylvania area, not just the Mon Valley, but the entire Western Pennsylvania area. Registration now open for the MVI Summer Basketball League, which will take place at Marks' Court Time in Elizabeth. So make sure, if you haven't or aren't already a part of the league, register for tryouts coming in the very near future to get on your team. Try to get a spot in the league. Very competitive, very exciting form of summer basketball. We've seen a number of our players throughout the course of the season improve to great lengths. We have WPIO champions in the league, including the likes of Rodney Gallagher, Quentin Martin, Champagne from Bishop Canavan. So, I mean, big names on the boys' side. We had Alyssa Clutter in the league, along with Ayanna Wade from Clareton. I mean, absolute top-notch talent, boys and girls side. So if you're looking to get better this summer as a basketball player, make sure you sign up for the MVI Summer Basketball League. Registration now open on the MVI SBL website. So check it out. And if you're just a fan of high school basketball and sports, make sure you tune in with us here on MVI Live for some MVI SBL coverage coming later this summer. Into the 5th, still 1-0 Ringgold. Solaski, first pitch, swing and a miss, fired by the right-handed hitting Cassie Kunkel, as it is Kunkel, Robertson, and Harding due up. That is 7-8-9 for the Ringgold Rams. The 0-1 by Solaski, bunt shown right back to Henderson. Covering first is Pendo, and she drops it again. Another Cougar error puts Cassie Kunkel aboard. And I have to wonder if this is going to pull the hands of the Charleroi bench boss. First pitch ball, as the freshman was outstanding with the glove and the bat in her first game of her high school career. Not the same thus far, but that's going to happen in the early season woes for these young players, as the 1-0 by Solaski, that one misses. Make it 2-0 to the right-handed hitting second baseman Haley Robertson. And Robertson transferred in from Utah. Pitch home by Salaski, make it 3-0 to Robertson. At first, Kunkel reached on the error. 3-0 pitch coming by Sophia Salaski. Bunt shown, pulled back. Runner goes, throw down. It's strong, and DeYounger applies the tag. 2-6. Cleans things up on the base path. So the error is erased once more. As the bunt was on, the bunt was missed. And the error is erased. As there is ball 4, so Robertson draws the free pass. So 1 on with 1 away here in the top half of inning number 5. And a meeting of the minds in the circle as coming to the dish is going to be Candace Harding. As the conclave separates, stepping up will be Candace Harding, struck out swinging back in inning number 3 in her lone AB. And right now, Charleroi has done a great job of backing up their young freshman second baseman. 2 errors in a row last inning, a strikeout, and then a double play on a judgment lapse, swing and a miss there by the left fielder, Candace Harding. And then Sophia Salaski tossing it in, the bunt missed. Lancey firing it down to DeYounger to erase that error once more. As this one's laced through the gap. And it's a single to left for Candace Harding, the sophomore. First hit since inning number 1 for the Ringgold Rams, putting runners at first and second with 1 away. Going to bring up Amy Peterson, make that Carly Russell. 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Scored the lone run of the contest. 2 on, 1 away. Salaski, bunt shown, jabbed right back to the hill. Salaski up with it on to Pendo. That time she snaps it down for out number 2. So a sac bump by Russell. Runners at second and third with 2 away. 1-0 the Rams lead. It's Amy Peterson, the senior, first pitch swinging. Pendo into the glove, on to Jones, and they erase the traffic once more. No runs on just 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left aboard. We've played now 4.5. Ringgold still up 1-0 over Charleroi. As Charleroi, they've been playing with fire, but it has not burned the Cougars thus far. As your score through 4.5 here on MVI Live. Again, 1-0 Ringgold. Can the Cougars get the bats going in the home half of the 5th inning? Only time will tell. It's going to be Pierock, Henderson, and Seipel due up this inning, barring any changes from the Charleroi bench. Against the right-hander Danny Vecchio, she surrendered just 2 hits, allowed 3 runners to reach, 1 on an error. Both of those hits came back in inning number 3, 1 by Henderson and 1 by Riley Jones. They were both stranded. 3 runners stranded on base thus far for Charleroi, while the Rams have left 4 aboard the base paths to this juncture. Again, game number 2 here on MVI Live this afternoon. We'll put the host Commodores against the Falcons from Brownsville. Be interesting to see maybe some who's going to pitch for Frazier in this game. I mean, most likely we are going to see Nicole Palmer start, but there is some rumors rumbling with head coach Donnie Hartman that we may see a couple different arms go. Again, knowing that they have that big game Monday with Charleroi. And with Charleroi down by 1, you know they want the win. Right now, they don't have the luxury of taking Salaski out of the circle. His first pitch swinging, fouled off by Pierock, the junior. Danny Vecchio battling in the circle once more. She struck out 4, yet to surrender a run. 0-1 by Vecchio, swing and a miss there, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning. The 0-2 by Vecchio, that one's fought off by the right-handed hitting Perrock. Vecchio toes the rubber. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Danny Vecchio, as she struck out the last 2 Cougars. And that will bring Lena Henderson to the dish, the third baseman, who is 1 for 1 here in this one. Was stranded at third back in inning number 3. 1 up, 1 down. First pitch to Henderson, fouls it up, out of play. The 0-1 by Vecchio, bunt shown, jabbed at, it's a little 3-footer. Russell up with it on to Olivia Vecchio for out number 2. Great play by Russell. Out of the crouch to pick it up quickly, and no chance for Lena Henderson running down that line. And that's going to turn it to the 9-hole hitter, Ella Seipold. First pitch, Seipold swings, sending it in the air out to left. Harding under it with ease. And 1, 2, 3 go the Cougars on the F7. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board through 5 full. Charleroi running out of time. They're down 1-0 to the Ringgold Rams, looking for their second win of the season here this afternoon on MVI Live, as we move into inning number 6, as everything stays the same for the Charleroi Cougars defensively. Due up this inning will be Danny Vecchio, along with Olivia Vecchio and Emma Nolf. Danny Vecchio, 1 for 2, has been on base twice. An RBI single back in the first, scoring Carly Russell. Then reached on one of 2 errors by Pendo back in inning number 4. As final pitch by Salaski comes for warm-ups, and we get set for the top half of inning number 6. Just 2 more trips to the dish for Charleroi to make something happen. Right now, Danny Vecchio has shut them down, and she'll look to give herself a bit of a cushion here in the latter stages of game number 1. An hour old, and we're in the 6th inning. First pitch, hefty cut and a miss for Danny Vecchio. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out. Pops straight up in the air and out of play. There's strike number 2 on the right-handed hitting pitcher. Oh, and 2 the count to Vecchio against her counterpart, Salaski. 0-2 up high, Vecchio takes for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody on, nobody out here in the top of inning number 6. Vecchio sends it in the air, right side towards foul territory and out of play, giving chase was Resetti. One ball, 2 strikes to Danny Vecchio. Swing and a miss as Vecchio becomes the 9th strikeout victim of Sophia Salaski, making Peyton LaFlash the only Ringgold Ram not to strike out today. She has struck out 8 different batters, one of them twice, that being Emma Nolf. As here's Olivia Vecchio, a hefty cut and a miss for strike number 1. 1 out, nobody on. Top of inning number 6. 1-0 Ringgold leads Charleroi. The 0-1 by Salaski, fouled up out of play, make it 0-2. Vecchio down in the count. Salaski looking to go double digits in the strikeout game. Rocks and fires. The 0-2 outer third misses for ball 1 to Olivia Vecchio, the senior first baseman. The 1-2. Popped up. In play, Jones calls for it, and in foul territory, Riley Jones makes the catch for out number 2. Now it is Emma Nolf. As Salaski will look for the hat trick against her in strikeouts. Looking for her 10th of the game, third against Nolf. First pitch, high check swing, ball 1. Salaski's 1-0. In there, count evens up, 1 ball and 1 strike to Emma Nolf. Struck out in the first and the fourth, batting here in the 6th. Salaski with 2 outs and nobody on, trying to keep things where they're at. The 1-1, swing and a miss, there's strike 2. Salaski toes the rubber. The 1-2 delivery. Strike 3 called. There is the third strikeout of Emma Nolf, 10th of the game by Sophia Salaski. And that will keep things at bay for the moment. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We've played now 5.5. Your score still Ringgold 1, Charleroi 0 here on MVI Live. Gives us a chance to recap what's happened thus far, and it hasn't been much. Coming back in inning number 1 was the scoring, a leadoff walk of Carly Russell. Peterson struck out, then an RBI single the other way to right by the pitcher Danny Vecchio, and that's all the scoring we've had thus far. Salaski danced through traffic in inning number 4 after 2 errors. Got a a strikeout, and then a double play on the P6, and then Olivia Vecchio took off thinking there was 2 outs, and it was an easy double up for De Unger. And besides that, Salaski and the Rams have been very good in this one defensively, but Danny Vecchio, or Salaski and the Cougars have been very good defensively, but Danny Vecchio and the Rams have been just as good. Just 2 hits against, 3 runners have reached, 1 off an error in the first, 2 hits surrendered in the third, but Vecchio has been great otherwise, and she'll look to keep that trend here in the home half of the 6th. 1-2-3 due up as Pendo takes ball 1. We know Pendo has the pop. She put it on display earlier this season in game number 1. Pendo straight up, out of play, left side. Pendo trying to get on for the first time today. 0 for 2, a pop out to the catcher and a strikeout as that one fouls off. Rattling the backstop. Two strikes on Avery Pendo. Pitch home by Vecchio, grounder, LaFlash, the shortstop up with it on to first with the stretch. Danny Vecchio pulled off the bag. As the throw was in time, but the throw was off the mark. So Pendo reaches on the error. And now it's Riley Jones, the sophomore. 1 on, nobody out. Jones was the leading hitter a year ago. Over 500. First pitch swinging, little blooper. LaFlash has it on the P6 for out number 1. And now it's up to McKenna DeYounger. one of the other sophomores on this Ringgold team, or this Charleroi team, excuse me. McKenna DeYounger last season. 5 homers, 24 RBI, 394 hitter. Swing and a miss for strike one. She is 0 for 2. Reached on an error back in inning number 1. That was by Olivia Vecchio, unable to snag the throw across the diamond from Peyton LaFlash, the senior. The 0-1, DeYounger shows bump, pulls back, and it gets away as Pendo will scamper to second. Took a turn thinking about going to third. Will not on the wild pitch. As going indeed, though they said, I believe, was McKenna DeYounger. Pitch by Vecchio to DeYounger, swing and a miss. So they're going to say she did not go on the bunt attempt. So it is 1-2 on McKenna DeYounger. Runner in scoring position for the second time today. Pitch home by Vecchio evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 on and 1 away. 1-0 Ringgold in the home half of the 6th. The 2-2, DeYounger sends it in the air out to center. Ranging in is Peterson. She'll make the catch. Pendo tries to tag up, and the throw is dropped by Nolf. They would have had Pendo dead to right, but Nolf could not hang on. So an F8 retires DeYounger, and now it's Sophia Salaski, the lefty. Salaski needs a 2-out hit to help her own cause. Salaski fantastic again last year. First pitch swinging, little pop-up. Danny Vecchio says, I have it. And she does indeed. P1 ends the inning, so the error does not come back to bite the Ringgold Rams. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left aboard through 6 full. Your score, Ringgold still 1. Charleroi nothing. 3 batters into the game, we had scoring. We have had none since, as the penultimate inning of at least regulation has come to an end. Hour 7 minutes old is this contest here from Fraser, as it's been a pitcher's duel thus far. Both teams have picked up some errors defensively and have not been bitten by that, as we could easily have 4 or 5 unearned runs in this contest combined, and it's just 1 earned run to the ledger of Sophia Salaski. She has been great today, but this is the inning she had issues with in game number 1 of the season, giving up the walk-off 2-run shot to the freshman Adoria Waldeer from Yock. Yock was able to hang on in their last game against Elizabeth Ford. They were up 9-1 with 2 on and 2 outs. One hit by Mackenzie Pritz away from 10 running the Warriors. They got a caught stealing, and then all of a sudden, EF put up a 5 spot, and then Olivia Grimm with 2 on and 2 out sent one the other way to the fence, and it was tracked down out in right to end the comeback of the Cougars, or the Warriors of Elizabeth Ford from York. They're in the same section as Ringgold. Here in the top of the 7th, 0-1 the count to Peyton LaFlash. LaFlash, little looper. Pendo comes in to make the plays. LaFlash now 0 for 3. Lining out to the second baseman, Avery Pendo. LaFlash still the only Ringgold player not to strike out here in this one. Fraser Brownsville on deck after the conclusion of this one. 1 up, 1 down. Bunt shown, fending it off. It's a 2-footer. Lancey up with it on the first. Pendo can't hold, or they will hold the foot, but they're going to say the throw was beat out by Cassie Kunkel. So a bunt single puts a runner at first with 1 away here in inning number 7. I think the issue, though, for Lancey was once she picked it up, she had to wait to make sure she didn't peg the runner Kunkel in the back. So now it's Robertson who is 0 for 1 with a walk and strikeout to the plate. Runner goes on the drop. Lancey fires down. DeYounger with the swipe. Not in time, as the throw was a little to the left of McKenna DeYounger. Is swiping second is Cassie Kunkel. Runner at second, one away here in the top of the seventh. 1-0 the Rams lead. Trying to give some breathing room to Danny Vecchio. Swing and a miss for strike one to Haley Robertson. 1 ball and 1 strike to the sophomore second baseman. And make sure you stay tuned for the State Farm Player of the Game after the conclusion of this one, brought to you by your local State Farm agent, Brian Warnick. 1-2 now the count to Haley Robertson after that foul off. Sophia Solaski looking for strikeout number 11. That will have to wait as that one misses to even things up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore second baseman. Solaski gets the sign she likes. The 2-2 home fills things up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. 1-0 Ringgold leads here in the top of the 7th inning. Looking for some breathing room against Charleroi. Solaski gets the sign. Roxon comes home with the payoff pitch, and that one's fouled off, and staying alive will be Robertson. The Rams have put together some great ABs so far here in this one. As Solaski's got up in the count early, they've battled back numerous times. Another payoff pitch coming by the left-hander. Got it. There's strikeout number 11. And Solaski 1 out away from keeping this a 1-run game to the home half of the 7th. It's going to be the 9-hole hitter, Candace Harding. Singled in her last AB back in the 5th. Would like to repeat that feat right now. And possibly give the Rams a 2-run advantage. First pitch by the lefty, bunt shown, pulled back as there's ball 1. One on, 2 away, 1-0 Ringgold leads. Pitch home, bunt shown, laid down, right back to Solaski. On to Pendo, that will do it. 1-4 goes the putout, and that will end the threat here in the top of the 7th. No runs on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 Ram left aboard through 6.5. Ringgold, they scored in the first, and they haven't looked back. It's 1-0 over Charleroi. Charleroi do or die here in the home half of the 7th inning, and it's going to look like this. Barring any changes, Maddie Lancy, Reese Eddy, Ty Pirok do up this inning. Solaski has been masterful in the circle. And the question is, it for nah? I think we are going to see a pinch hitter for Eddy when we get to that spot, and most likely the form of Stefanik, as she has a bat on deck. So Emma Stefanik most likely going to bat after Maddie Lancy. Lancy, line out to center, ground out 1-3 to the pitcher Danny Vecchio in her last AB back in the 4th. Vecchio's been outstanding as well. Has punched out 5, just giving up 2 hits in this game. An RBI single for Danny Vecchio. 5 strikeouts. No runs against. Just 2 hits thus far for Vecchio. Vecchio rocks, deals. Ball 1 to Maddie Lancy. Must-score scenario for Charleroi. The sophomore has been excellent here in the circle, the 1-0. Lancy lines it past the middle infielders into center. A leadoff single by the sophomore, Maddie Lancy. And that's just how you want to start the party, and they're going to bring up Emma Stefanik. Pinch hit in the 7th. It's going to be Stefanik. Courtesy runner at first is Emma Scoble. So Scoble at first, nobody out, as she'll be the courtesy runner. Stefanik will come in to pinch hit for Reese Eddy. Tying run at first, a winning run at home in the form of Emma Stefanik. Perrock on deck. One on, nobody out. Danny Vecchio trying to work through some early 7th inning traffic. As getting all orders sorted back at home. With the courtesy runner and Scoble at first. And Stefanik, the pinch hitter, coming in. Maddie Lancey, a leadoff single. Great start to the inning for Charleroi. Emma Stefanik in game number 1 of the season, the only game for Charleroi thus far, started as the DP. They didn't use one here today. As Vecchio rocks, deals, first pitch swinging, grounder up the middle. Robertson on to second for one. LaFlash will put it in her pocket. And they're actually going to say they didn't get Scoble. No, they did. Okay. I was a little confused there for a second. So a fielder's choice puts Stefanik at first. Scoble retired on the 4-6 putout. So 1 out, 1 on now. Danny Vecchio will now face Ty Perrock. As Perrock, the junior left fielder, 0 for 2, strikeout and ground out to her ledger here today. As Robertson thought about turning 2 there with LaFlash, decided just keep it in her pocket as sliding in. Hard was the courtesy runner in Emma Stefanik. Reese Eddy will re-enter the game for Stefanik to run at first, so add some more speed out on the base pass. So a re-enter of Reese Eddy, who Stefanik batted for. Again, full coverage of both of these games will be available tomorrow in the Mon Valley Independent. Danny Vecchio waiting her chance at Ty Perrock, the junior left fielder. 0 for 2. On deck is Lena Henderson. Henderson has one of the 2 Charleroi hits thus far today. As digging in will be Perrock. First pitch, Vecchio. In her third, strike 1. Snap throw back to first, and scampering in safely is Reese Eddy. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on the 0-1. Evens things up at 1-1 to Ty Perrock. The 1-1 low bounces, make it 2-1 to the right-handed hitting left fielder. Two-1 by Vecchio, swing and a miss, count evens 2-2. Eddy stays put at first for the moment. Vecchio toes the rubber, rocks and fires the 2-2. Little blooper, LaFlash picks it up and snags it on the P6 for out number 2. And now Ringgold 1 out away from getting win number 2 in game number 4 this season. They had 2 all year a season ago. First pitch swinging by Lena Henderson, strike 1. As Henderson, possibly the final hope for Charleroi. 1 for 2. Pops it straight up, make it 0-2. The Cougars down to their final out. Danny Vecchio. She's been masterful in the circle, just 2 hits again, just against allowed 4 base runners to reach. Also drove in the lone run. The 0-2. Strike 3 call. Danny Vecchio strikes out Henderson to end it. And Ringgold matches their win total from a season ago, 4 games in. As Ringgold gets their second win of the season, Charleroi drops to 0-2. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left aboard in inning number 7. And it's a 1-0 win for the Ringgold Rams over the Charleroi Cougars here on MVI Live in Game 1 of the afternoon. We'll take a break, come back with our State Farm player of the game, and then send you on your way so I can get ready for Game number 2 right here on MVI Live.
Life is full of surprises. Some good, some not so good. It's why your State Farm agent is there with good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates for everyone. Yep, that's right, at State Farm you get great service and great rates with every policy, so you can be prepared for all life's surprises. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Brian Warnick in Perryopolis today at 412-668-0111.
Back here from Frazier Softball Field, your final score. Ringgold 1, Charleroi 0. And time to name our State Farm player of the game, brought to you by your local State Farm agent, Brian Warnick. And for the second straight time we've seen the Rams, player of the game honors goes to Danny Vecchio of Ringgold. Drove in the lone run, an RBI single in the first, struck out 6 Cougars, pitched the shutout, just gave up 3 hits. So a masterful performance for the sophomore, Danny Vecchio. She is your State Farm player of the game, brought to you by your local State Farm agent, Brian Warnick. So a great job to Danny Vecchio and the Ringgold Rams, who matched their win total from a season ago with their second win of the year. Charleroi now 0-2 as Solaski struck out 11, gave up just 3 hits, but was unable to hang on. We'll recap this one for you real quick. A leadoff walk, then a strikeout, an RBI single by Danny Vecchio made it 1-0, and that's when Solaski settled in, mowing them down. Would record the next 8 outs before a pair of errors would sneak their way in as the first 2 runners reached via E4, and then a strikeout and a P6 double play to McKenna DeYounger erased the traffic on the base path. So through 4 innings of work, it was still a 1-0 game. Charleroi threatened only once. That was in the 3rd inning after a pair of singles with 2 outs. It was McKenna DeYounger flying out to right, and that was really the only chance Charleroi had. They tried to mount a comeback in the 7th, too little, too late. Leadoff single would move no further than first base, and that's kind of where this one would end. Charleroi falls to 0-2. Ringgold moves to 2-2. Danny Vecchio, your player of the game. Your final totals here in this one. Ringgold 1 run on 3 hits, 2 errors, as the Rams stranded 5 runners on the base pass here this afternoon. For Charleroi, no runs on 3 hits, 3 errors, and they left also 5 on base. Danny Vecchio gets the win, striking out 6. Vecchio, her second win this season for Ringgold. Drove in the lone run as well, really helping her own cause. So an excellent game to start day number 2. Ringgold 1, Charleroi 0. We'll step aside here on MVI Live. And then when we get back on the air, it'll be game number 2 between Frazier and Brownsville right here on MVI Live. We'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your Saturday. If you're not coming back and joining us, your final score, Ringgold 1, Charleroi 0.